Cool Outdoors. Today I'm going to give you 10 quick tips on fishing for smallmouth and streams. Tip number 1. Always fish your bait upstream from your target. Smallmouth like to face the current because it brings bait to them. It makes it first an easy meal. Always cast your line to upstream from your target and let it drift in. Tip number 2. Always try to match the hatch. By this, I mean know what kind of bugs are hatching and what kind of minnows are in the river at that time. Try to match the color and the size of the minnows for your best chance to fool a smart smallmouth. Tip number 3. Always fish the rises. When I mean rises, I don't mean a fish jumping out of the water. I mean when the water comes up, the fish come out to eat. That is when the most nutrients and most bait is washed into the river or stream, allowing easy meals to be washed downstream to a hungry smallmouth. Tip number 4. If you're fishing in the middle of the day, use something that looks like a crayfish. That is the smallmouth's favorite meal during the middle of the day because that is the easiest time for them to catch them. At night, these crayfish live deep underneath the rocks on the bottom of the rivers and streams, making it impossible for them to eat them. Always try to mimic a crayfish during midday. Tip number 5. Always read the stream. Remember that every pool that a stream is made is like a different lake. It's going to have its own characteristics and its own population of smallmouths. It's going to have deeper water and different structure. So always try to read where your structure is and fish that spot. You're fishing in the moment, not fishing a system. Tip number 6. I hate to give this away, but stir things up. Before you get to a spot you're going to fish, ways up the river, wade in and kick the rocks around. This is like chumming for sharks. It allows a bunch of the prey to get knocked out of the rocks and scares them downstream and could create a feeding frenzy. Tip number 7. Go light, go dark in the fall. By this, I mean you need to use light line, light lures, and they should probably be dark because bass scare very easily in the fall, especially smallmouth. They have a lot of predators coming up the streams to spawn, and it's just easier for them if they are finicky. It's a survival tactic. Tip number 8. Use repellers. Repellers imitate a lot of the bait fish that these fish are eating, and it can be dynamite if you can imitate these baits that they are currently eating. Now, tip number 9 depends on your skills. If you have poor skills with a boat, you don't probably want to take a boat up because you can't stay where you're going to be able to fish the most effectively. And another thing you need to consider when you're going boat versus wading is, do you want to pick one little section of the area apart, or do you want to cover more water? This all depends on you. You and you alone. How do you feel you're going to have a better trip? Now, the last tip I'm going to give you, I know there's going to be some debate down in the comments, but I think you should always wade alone. When you wade alone, it's just one person trying, instead of a bunch of people trying to scare the bass. This gives you the best possibility of being successful when you're fishing and allows you the greatest amount of chance for success, especially if it's a small stream. If you're fishing a small stream that's not very wide, some idiot down the river 2 miles could scare your fish. These have been 10 tips for finicky smallmouth in small streams and rivers. Until next time, I am your host of Cool Outdoors, Derek Cole. Fish strong, learn, and be successful. Remember to subscribe, like, and share my video. Later!